What's going on, guys? First off, just like to thank you all for the support. It means the world. And if you guys need anything from me, just let me know, and I'll do everything I can to, help you out. Whether it's, just someone to talk to, or just, whether we're talking about finance or health or whatever it is, or spiritual quote unquote questions. I'm always a resource. But let's hop into it. All right, so we're gonna go over basic terminology of stocks real quick. So right here, I'm looking at AMD, Advanced Micro Devices. AMD is called a ticker symbol. It's like the symbol for a stock, like Advanced Micro Devices, AMD. That's why theirs is AMD. If I did like NVDA, that would be NVIDIA, another computer game company. So, a couple things you'll see when you Google: open, high, low, market cap. Open means when the stock market opened at 9:30, depending on your time zone, this is where it started today. The high of the day. This is how high it got today. This is how low it got today. You notice we're up, 20% today. That's really good. That means if you put $100 in, you would have made $20 today. You could have done that on Robinhood, made a quick $20. Might not seem like a lot, but if you can do this every day, adds up, and then you have $1,000 and you're doing the same thing. You're making $200 a day, in a trade. 1,000%, 20% of $1,000 is 200, right? So you can see how it adds up. But what are we not? We're not greedy. We take our profits when it's there. We protect our profits. How do I protect my profits? Okay, let's say I bought here, right? Let's say I bought here at $19 on Tuesday, January 29th, 1932. I watched it and it ran up to 22 bucks. Maybe I set a stop loss. What does a stop loss means? It means that, now it's at 22, I bought at 19. This is already like a 15% gain, right? So 150 bucks off 1,000, or 15 off 100. That's dinner. Take your girl out to dinner. Take your man out to dinner. Um, but then, so if I saw it was at 22 and I was like, okay, now I protect my profits. So what do? I set a stop loss. Maybe I set a stop loss at 21.50. Why? Because if it goes lower, at least I secured my profits. If it goes higher, well, look out. I really only am missing 5% off the top. I'm still making 15%. That's where we're not being greedy and we're protecting profits, because this easily could go back down. And so why didn't it go back down? Now we're going to talk about highs and lows. So here's the open, and then so open, high, low. Get that? High. So at 10:30, high. 11, low. Okay? But this low was a higher low. Why is that a higher low? Because now this open at $20 is the bottom. That's the support. That's what we're basing this all off of, is this support until we get a lower support. So whatever the lowest dip is, that's what we would call support in that current time period. So here's the support, high, higher low, because it's higher than that low. So what does that mean? If we go up, so if we have a higher high, so like here's a high, we would say that here to here is a high, higher low, because it's higher than this. If we came down to like here, where my mouse is, that would be a lower low. So this would be what we would call, it's all relative. So I know it can be confusing, but then if we call that the low point, well, if we went, set up our high and then, exit, finish down here, that's a sign that we're going to keep continuing this trend up and down, but mostly down. But if we're able to hit a higher low, that means we go up, and look what happens. We go up. Here's another dip, but it's still a higher low, because here's the last low, and then here's the other low, here's the other low. So If you were to draw a line from the bottom of this 2038 where my mouse is all the way to here at $21 almost, that would be a trend line going up. We're setting highs, higher lows, a new high, higher lows, new high, higher lows. Okay, new high, higher lows, new high. Now look what happened. This happened over the weekend, but here's the new high. Look at where we are now. That's a lower low. Why is that a lower low? Because look at here. These were our lows at the, in the recent period. And now look at how much lower we ended up being here. So that's the reversal. That's what we call a reversal. So from here, if we're reversing back down, now we're starting this trend line down. Remember how we had this trend line up? If we were to draw a line on the lows, it'd go up. Well, here now, if we draw a line on the lows, it's going down. So that's what you look at when you're analyzing a chart. This is now what we would call, since we're going down, now this is what we would call a lower high. And, maybe you want to be taking notes on this, it's totally up to you, but we also can continue to go over this just one-on-one because it is confusing and it took me a while to get. But this is a lower high. Why is it a lower high? Because it's lower relative to this high, the last high. So it's a lower high. If we set a lower high, that means we're going to set a lower low. And look what happens. We do set a lower low. And now we got that high back up. Still set a lower high because even relative to this one just 30 minutes ago, it's still lower. What does that mean? We're continuing down. Now that's a lower low, another lower low, because look at our last lows. Lower low, lower high, because it's still lower high, going back down, going back down, going back down. Now look what happens. This was Tuesday to Wednesday, so this was overnight. We set a new high. Why? That's now a higher high. Why is that a higher high? Because it's higher than all these other highs over here. It's not higher than this one. So even if we were analyzing it, we wouldn't say that this is 100% going to go up now because we're still technically a lower high compared to here. But this is a good indication that we're starting this trend line back up. So look, if we were drawing the line on the lows, high, higher high, higher low, 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 higher high. That might have been repetitive for you, but line straight up. Now, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. That's the trend line down. So that's all I'm going to go over that for now because I don't want to you might not get it at first. It's okay. We'll go over it again. All right. 52-week high, 52-week low. That means in the last year, how high did this stock go so far? We had that time in about September, October. This is the lucrative months of the stock market. If you look at how stocks move, they typically move very well in in these September, October abundance months. Okay, usually in Christmas time, we see our lows. Black Friday, Christmas, pretty low. Okay. Market cap. Market cap means how much money is in the company. How do we get market cap? To get market cap, if we're going to go to Yahoo Finance, which is a really good resource to use. Also, the thing I'm using is called tradingview.com. That's where you can look at other, charts. You can do this full featured chart. When we go here, Yahoo Finance gives us a lot of good information. We're going to look at statistics. So here they have a market cap. So this is still AMD, market cap of $23 billion. Enterprise value, that's just the value that Yahoo gives it. Sometimes it's accurate, sometimes it's not. Relative. Shares outstanding, that just means how many of them are. So like if you were to think of you owning a stock as one individual stock, like your serial number one, the next person's serial number two, there's 99 million serial numbers, and each share is unique in a sense. If you're having trouble understanding that, I'm gonna use the idea of like Bitcoin. So think of circulating supply as um, shares outstanding, meaning how many total shares are there. There's only 17.5 million bitcoins out there in the world. You can't create any more. There's never going to be less. There's never, well, there could be less because people can lose them. Like if in a sense, like if you forget your password or something or whatever, you send it to whatever the issues might come in there. But the idea is there's only 17 million, and the price is 3,485. How do we get the market cap? Well, we get the price per share at $23 multiplied by the shares outstanding, which is 999 million, to get the market cap. So again, share price times shares outstanding equals the market cap. So for a company to go up in price, the shares wouldn't necessarily change, which they can. There's these things this company can do called dilution, which maybe they increase it to 1.2 billion instead of 1 billion. Why would they increase it 200 million more to get more money from their investors? Essentially, it screws over the investors. Companies do that when they're not doing very well and they need money. Essentially, dilution means now there's more shares, so the price goes down. So if you own 100 shares, your price of your shares is going to go down. Um, so there's all this other stuff on here. You can show how much cash they have, which that's pretty good. To have $1 billion out of 23 billion. I mean, like, yeah, that's not anywhere close to 23 billion, but that's pretty good because some companies are huge and they only have like 300 million. It's really not that good, and that's signs that aren't good. But yeah, so also when I'm analyzing charts, if I'm just looking to make little swing trades, this is this is why we invest. Right now we're using maybe Robinhood or something, and we're investing in big market cap stocks. What is big market cap? Big market cap means it's like billions of dollars. A small market cap would be like this company, which only has a market cap of 1.2 million. So 1.2 million versus 20 billion. This is considered a penny stock or small market cap, and um, when we go to AMD, this is big market cap. So for the share price to move, so for this essentially to go happen where you make 20% on your money, that means that 20% more money came into this company. So what's 20% of 23 billion? We'll call that, $4 billion. So that means $4 billion came into the company today. So that means, investors, regular people, institutions put money into this company today. And that's why it gained 19%. And that's why if you invested yesterday, when it was at $21 or $19, actually, yeah, when it was at $19, yeah, essentially the market cap was $4 billion went in today. If this was negative 20%, that means $4 billion would have left. So if we started the day at 19 and we were negative 20%, then we'd be, down to 15 billion. So that means everybody sold and, they're taking profits. And that trick that I told you about, setting a stop loss, securing profits is a really good method to use. And, once you get more advanced, you can set more strategic stop losses at like support levels that you believe, after analyzing. Um, so I'm sure you still have a lot of questions, so feel free to write them down. I'd love to talk to you guys, one on one or whatever. You can text me, you can message me on Twitter. I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. You can text me or call me, ask, see if we can set up a time that works. Um, but yeah, guys, I hope this gives you a lot of information. I know I went over some things really quickly, but I just wanted to not take up too much time. Um, I love you guys. Peace.